ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. Inshallah, we will be discussing the subject of Arabic grammar, ilm al-nahwa, which is the other term for it in Arabic. These lessons are aimed at anyone that is willing or wishing to learn classical Arabic, especially the Arabic of the Quran. There are many aspects that are required for learning the Quran and understanding the Quran. Part of this is grammar. If you do not understand Arabic grammar, then you will not be able to appreciate or even begin to understand many of what the Quran is saying, especially in its natural and original language, which is Arabic. There are a few things which we should be made aware of before beginning a subject. And part of this is understanding the definition of the subject itself. And just as a side note, during these sessions, I will be taking my information primarily from Hidayatul Nahwa, which is a fundamental textbook in many Islamic institutes, such as Darul Ulooms and Madaris. This book is taught as an essential. So, one of the things that are required of us to understand when learning about a subject is its definition. So the word nahwa means qasd, qaf sad dal, qasd. That means to intend. This is just its conceptual meaning. It's a dictionary definition. So it's very important when you study any subject to do a conceptual analysis to appreciate the roots of a term. And this also helps you understand the meaning of a word on a deeper level. And this is important in Arabic, especially when there are many words which can mean the same thing, but their root words have slight different definitions, which create slightly different meanings. But that's a tangent. With regards to nahwa, we said it means qasd, to intend, but its technical meaning is to essentially, in simple terms, to recognize the end case of a word, particularly nouns in the Arabic language. There is a thing known as mu'arrab and mabni words, which you would not understand yet. So for now, I will just keep it simple and say that nahwa is a subject which is used to help us recognize and identify the last vowel on a word in Arabic. This is because the last vowel of a word in Arabic lets us know what its position is grammatically in a sentence, what its effect is in a sentence. Is it a subject or is it an object? What is it doing in the sentence? What effect is it creating? So the main discussion of nahwa, as implied from what we just said, are the individual Arabic words. Like what, and we've explained what this means. For example, if a word is a subject, then it means that it is doing something. Well, if it follows a verb. If it's an object, then it means that an action is being done upon it. And we can recognize these positions of words based on their last vowel signs. And of course, as mentioned previously, the benefits of studying Nahwa is so that we can understand the Quran and Sunnah. It will also save us, of course, from making mistakes when reading Arabic texts. We find online, especially with social media, people putting forward ideas and notions which we may be unfamiliar with, and they may provide some texts with it in Arabic, and because we do not understand Arabic, we blindly follow the person posting these statements. But if we were to really understand Arabic grammar, Arabic morphology, balagha, etc., then we would have a greater awareness of what the text is actually saying, and if the person posting that Arabic text is really conveying what the intended meaning is or was. In terms of the ranking of the subject of Nahwa, so For example, the Prophet ﷺ said, seeking knowledge is compulsory. طلب العلم فريضة على كل مسلم ومسلمة في رواية. So the Prophet ﷺ said that seeking knowledge is necessary upon the believing men and the believing women in one narration. So is seeking nahwa something which is necessary upon us? Well, the scholars generally say that nahwa is something known as al-ulum al-aliyah, which means it is a tool which we use to understand the Sharia. So it's al-ulum ghayr al-shari'iyyati. So it's not something which is necessary in and of itself, but it's very important for scholars to study. Some may question what is the origination of the subject. In other words, who began Nahwa? So some people, and it is a famous view, that it was Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, who was the fourth caliph of Islam, who founded Nahwa. This is because originally there was no systematic understanding of the Arabic language prior to Islam. It was of course a high level language where the people would celebrate poetry and literature. However, there was nothing in place which helped perhaps a non-Arab to learn the language in terms of its grammar. Some others have said that it was Abu al-Aswad al-Duwali who was under the instruction of Ali radiallahu anhu to begin this task of systematically understanding the Arabic language. And others say that it was even Umar radiallahu anhu. So there's a story where a Bedouin recited a verse of the Quran. He recited one of the vowels incorrectly, which changed the meaning, and Umar radiallahu anhu, after hearing this, ordered the compilation of grammatical rules. Finally, for today's lesson, we will just list the major discussions within Nahwa. They are the terminologies of the subject, the verbs, nouns and particles in terms of whether they act upon the following words or not, and the particles that don't act upon the following words. There are of course many other discussions, but essentially nouns, verbs and particles, these are the focus of Nahwa. Huma alayna illa al-balagh. So I hope you have enjoyed today's lesson. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.